Thank you so much, Sophie, for again reminding us that this is a journey together, reminding us of the need for us to respond together, reminding us of the need to shape, to care, to think about accountability, not in silos, not by ourselves, but as sectors that respond in relationship to each other because we care about future generations. So my job is to bring us into that thinking now. We're going to start priming you before we get into these, into the Butcher's paper and having deeper conversations about a national conversation. But first to think about what this phrase that's in blue on the screen actually means to us. And I think it's really important for us to actually answer this question individually for ourselves. Of course, our response to this is always going to change, but it's foundational to the thinking, right? What do we actually understand about future generations ourselves, in our own world, in the way that we would respond to this? And so I'm going to actually drag you, Taylor, a little bit up, because I want you to be my pair, because you're going to do the same thing in 2 seconds, because I want a bit of energy and conversation in the room to get, the flow going. And for me, I was sitting with this question as a chronic overthinker and perfectionist, trying to think of a really detailed response to this initially. And I just, for context, I'm the oldest of 9, so when I think about future gens, I almost have to think about them all the time because they've come into my life. But for me, I just thought, before my siblings were born, what did I want them to actually thank me for? What world would I want to create for them? And I think my initial response to this question was that I actually saw them as human beings, worthy of a planet that actually is full of life, full of greenery, full of play and excitement, one where they're protected and we're responding in a way that they can see that in their day-to-day when they go for a walk, or when they go to childcare, or when they go to school. That's the world that I want them to thank me for creating and contributing to. And so I want you to now respond to this question, and you're going to respond by chatting to the person next to you. I'm going to be very teacher-like with this. You get 2 minutes, one minute each, and I will be timing. So split it up evenly. Don't overthink it. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see this question? What do I want future generations to thank me for? 2 minutes starts now. All right, let's come back into center, and I want you to sit with what you just discussed with your pair. It's abundantly clear that we didn't find that difficult to answer. There was a lot of conversation, which is fantastic. That's a good start for us for what the next part is going to be. We're already thinking about this question in our lives. Hopefully there was something interesting that you heard from the person next to you, or even for yourself. Like, think about, did I find that really uncomfortable? Did I find that super easy? Am I ready to jump into this next part of thinking about the opportunities and dealing with the barriers to actually fulfilling this ambition that you hold, but also the person next to you held as well? We're not going to answer and go into all of those opportunities and barriers, but have a think about that when you're delving into the later portion of today. What's it going to take? What's it going to take for us to actually think, feel, contemplate, respond to what we have to do to achieve the things that we said for ourselves personally, but also the person next to us said as well? And this mindset, which Amy's going to come up shortly to talk about the Future Gen's mindset and the thinking around that. And so this is complex. I'm speaking to an audience who gets that, but we have to sit in the messy to be able to get to a place where we're actually responding completely and really in terms of accountability. So I want to leave you with that thinking that you just had. I'm going to pass over to Amy, who's going to come onto the stage and talk about that Future Gen's one-on-one mindset and really bring us into that conversation that we need to have on these different themes that we're going to present later. So thank you.